Today we're going to make a modern drink. To hell with Spain. For this drink, you're going to need a coupe glass, a measuring cup, a bar spoon, a julep strainer, a mixing glass, and optionally, a dasher bottle. This drink uses lightly peated scotch, sweet vermouth, cherry liqueur, heavily peated scotch, absinthe, and a cherry for garnish. This is a modern reworking of a Prohibition-era drink. It takes the bold and wild flavors of that drink and cranks them up a notch by adding more cherry and giving it a thick haze of smoke. This is the Through the Looking Glass sequel to Remember the Maine. Remember the Maine was born in Havana in the midst of Batista's first coup in 1933. The name of the drink was an allusion to a different violent Cuban transfer of power 35 years earlier. In 1898, an American ship called the USS Maine blew up in Havana Harbor. The Spanish were hastily blamed for the explosion by the American media, who were eager to print and reprint the slogan that became the rallying cry and justification for American involvement in multiple Spanish colonial uprisings. That rallying cry was to hell with Spain, remember the Maine. This helped get the people behind America's 3-month involvement in the Spanish-American War, the result of which switched colonies in the Philippines, Guam, Puerto Rico, and Cuba from Spanish hands to American ones. However, to be fair, not all of that history was baked into the name for the original drink. After all, it's hard to hold on to the full context a generation later when the propaganda is so strong. And certainly not into this drink, which was only referencing the Prohibition-era classic. The drink got a little write-up by spirits writer and contributing editor to Imbibe, Paul Clark, on his site The Cocktail Chronicles. To Hell with Spain comes from Seattle area bartender Connor O'Brien. It was created on a cold night in the fall of 2011. At the time, O'Brien was holding it down behind the stick at Vito's in downtown Seattle. A couple of regulars came in and ordered a bartender's choice. O'Brien knew that they loved Scotch drinks when it was cold outside, and that they'd been craving cherry liqueur for the past couple weeks. So O'Brien started to put something together. He knew the Scotch, cherry liqueur, and absinthe would work, but wasn't sure where to turn next. He added a measurement of sweet vermouth, gave it a taste, and knew he was onto something. He finished it by boosting the smokiness. It wasn't until later that it occurred to O'Brien that the drink was a riff on one of his favorites, Remember the Maine. O'Brien admits that you may need to tinker with these ratios a little depending on which brands you use. The Great King Street Glasgow blend that I'm using for the base has some more smoke than a Black Grouse or something like that. So to be more accurate, maybe I should have cut the peat monster in half. But I like it nice and smoky, so the original ratios are perfect for me. The drink was a hit with his guests. Over the next couple weeks, he ended up making the drink a handful of times. And when the bar manager Justin Gerardy asked O'Brien for submissions for a new menu, O'Brien suggested this drink. However, he didn't have a name for the cocktail, but Gerardy had a name for it. The other half of the rally cry from the Spanish-American War. The part with more attitude. Much like this drink. Before we get started, we're going to fill up our dasher. Carefully pour your absinthe in a clean dasher bottle. Plug in your top, and you're ready to go. Then chill the glass. Fill it with ice and water and set it aside. Next, we're going to measure 2 ounces of lightly peated scotch. Add that to the mixing glass. Measure half an ounce of sweet vermouth. Add that to the mixing glass. Measure a 1/4 ounce of cherry liqueur. Add that to the mixing glass. Measure a 1/4 ounce of heavily peated scotch. Add that to the mixing glass. Then hit it with 3 dashes of absinthe. If you don't have a dasher bottle for the absinthe, just put your thumb over the throat of the bottle and slowly release pressure until a couple drops come out. Add ice and stir it well to chill it down and give it some dilution. Dump the ice and water from your coupe glass, then strain the contents of your mixing glass into your chilled cocktail glass. Scoop out a maraschino cherry and plop it in your drink for garnish. And there it is, the edgier expression of a classic. To hell with Spain. Enjoy. Click here for more videos. Be sure to subscribe and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For links, more info, and the printed recipe, check out the description below.